The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read. Your source for news, politics, sports, and all things trending. Here's your host, Marcus Gentry.
Welcome, people, to the Daily Read, and I am your host, Marcus Gentry. I want to give you guys a feel-good story. Hollywood tried to right itself. They literally ruined a man's acting career, and he really hasn't had a chance to make a full comeback from that. But they're giving him work, and they're putting him in future Star Wars movies. They've made him a premier character now. And many of you who watch science fiction movies and science fiction television shows, you've probably heard of The Mandalorian. And it's actually a good show. I watch it all the time, and I love it. They have a little baby Yoda, and this guy, Ahmed Best, he played Jar Jar Binks. And he got such slack from the black community because of how Jar Jar Binks moved, how he acted, the big lips, you know, the stroll he made when he walked. It was just, the show was a good movie if you like science fiction. And I didn't take offense to it. But you had people out here who did. And it ruined his career. Like, he literally hasn't been acting since Star Wars Episode 1 when they introduced Jar Jar Binks. Now what they've done is, someone in the Star Wars universe of producers and directors, they went back and got him. And they've made him one of the premier characters in the Star Wars franchise. Not Jar Jar Binks, that's his other character, one that almost ruined his career. But they're bringing him back as a top Jedi. For any of you who know about the Star Wars universe. And I'm going to play a clip of him before they gave him the new role he has. I'm going to give you a clip of him playing Jar Jar Binks. And like I said, it was a good movie. I didn't take offense to it, but a lot of people did. Check it out.
What's that? Wait! Oh, muy, I love you.
You almost got us killed. Are you brainless?
I speak.
The ability to speak does not make you intelligent. Now get out of here.
No, Mr. Stay. Mr. called Jar Jar Binks. Mr. your humble servant.
That won't be necessary.
Oh, but it is. It is demanded by the gods, it is.
See, that... And I don't even see how people could relate that to black people. We're not all goofy. Some of us play like we slow. But we're not all slow and goofy out here. And like I said, I didn't take offense to it. I looked at him as what it was. He was a character on a foreign planet that one of the Jedis ran across. But a lot of black activists felt as if they needed something to go out here and get on Hollywood about. His name is Ahmed Best. I think he's a great actor. You know, I'm looking at some of his appearances and some of his movies, and to be honest with you, that was it. That was it. He played in Star Wars Episode 1, 2, 3, and he played in the Clone Wars cartoon series. He did a brief voiceover in the cartoon series. And basically, it ruined his career. He couldn't get acting jobs in the black community. You know, with the people that do the black love stories and the black hood movies. He couldn't get work nowhere in, I call it Georgia Hollywood. You know, you have the Medea crew out there in Georgia. They have their own version of Hollywood in Georgia. He couldn't get work out there, and it was kind of sad. But this is his new role. they've given him a top spot as far as being a top Jedi, and going forward, his role as the one who saved the baby Yoda is set in stone now. And I think moving forward, they're going to give him a greater part to play in the Star Wars universe, because really his whole career has been wrapped up in Star Wars. Check his new role out.
Everything's gonna be all right, kid.
12:15. Cross them.
That's his new role. If you notice, his colors look almost similar to Samuel L. Jackson's colors when he played Mace Windu. If you ever watched the series, some people don't watch the series, but like I said, Star Wars, that role he played as Jar Jar Binks almost ruined his life. But Star Wars has been able to keep his pockets, right by giving him work. And I give him a thumbs up on that. It seemed like they're trying to correct the wrong that they did. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. More happiness to him. He was on Yahoo News talking about returning, and he was kind of skeptical about it, but he said, why not? He's not acting right now, so he said, this was, if it's fate, this is what it was going to be. So I just thought that I would get that feel-good story out the way before we start talking about Trump Watch. Because Georgia is trying to pull a move that I think a lot of minorities in the state of Georgia need to hear about and know about. We're going to get to that when we come back. This is the Daily Read.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
In Georgia, where Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis, her investigation into efforts to overturn the results of the 2020 election continues, Republicans seem like they might be getting nervous about her next steps. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution is reporting that tonight, Georgia's Republican-controlled House of Representatives has passed its version of a bill aimed at reining in so-called rogue prosecutors. Last week, the Georgia State Senate passed their own version of a similar bill. Both bills allow for prosecutors to be disciplined and even removed by a proposed oversight commission. Members of the commission would be handpicked by the governor, lieutenant governor, Speaker of the House, and other top political positions in the state, all of which are currently held by Republicans.
This is an attempt for the Republicans to bring back the robber barons. I talked about the robber barons a couple of shows back, and it's very important for minorities in the state of Georgia, in the South period. The robber barons, carpetbaggers, and people like that were very vicious people. I gave a story about how these men and women basically were able to control whole counties, lawlessness, control whole counties. I'm talking about, I gave an example where a man's rich son ran over a child, and the poor man wanted, he wanted compensation, but he wanted justice. And the sheriff, instead of taking the man's son to jail, he took him home. And the reason why is because they had politicians like these in Georgia put laws into place protecting these people. They're trying to bring back those multimillionaires who can multimillionaires basically have enough money to have sway over an area anyway. But with this new law that they're putting out, now if a prosecutor tries to prosecute someone, they're not even going to worry about criminals, poor people, gang members. They're not even going to speak about that. But whenever it's somebody prominent that they like, they have the authority with this new law to call the prosecutor in and basically grill them to turn over information about the case. There's a problem with that, because now a prosecutor, when he turned that information over to the politicians, they're going to turn around and give it right back to the multimillionaires they're trying to protect. This is going to be a major problem, because if Georgia gets away with this, you're going to see places like Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, Louisiana, all the southern states in the Bible Belt are going to start enacting laws the same way, where you basically, if you're a Republican or you got major influence, you can have an investigation stopped. This is going to be a major problem. I think what's going to wind up happening is the U.S. Courts is going to step in on this. Even though states have autonomy, mostly, they still have to follow U.S. law. And this right here is going to be real damaging to the population. It's going to be real damaging to the population. Listen to this.
I'll take that as a rhetorical question. Paul, I got another one for you. So the Georgia Lieutenant Governor, Burt Jones, he's already been notified that he's a target of Willis's investigation. But under these proposals, he'd get to make an appointment to the Oversight Commission. Do these folks not care about the obvious conflict of interest here?
Jonathan, I'm going to take that as a rhetorical question. Obviously, it's a conflict of interest. You should not get to vote on your own private prosecutor, or better said, the person who, if they got your case, wouldn't prosecute you, because they know that you have the power to remove them from office. So it's an obvious conflict, I would say only in Georgia, but we're seeing laws like this limiting the power of prosecutors when people, usually Republicans, don't like what they're doing. These laws are coming to the extension of lawmakers all over the country.
What Fannie Willis is going to wind up doing, if this bill goes to the governor, she's going to wind up going ahead and prosecuting Donald Trump early, which might mess up her case. You know, she's crossing her T's and dotting her I's. She's getting ready for this. She's getting ready for this fight. And I don't think she's going to play no games with it. This man has basically run roughshod over America for years now. And by me dealing with the feds, I know how they move. And these characters, a person like Donald Trump, he has to have some kind of political backing. Because when the feds come for you, like they got that prosecutor from Europe, when they come for you, they coming for you. They're not going to play no games. They're not going to take no wink, wink, nod, nod. They're not going to take no money, because the U.S. government makes money. I heard an old dope dealer who has spent almost 25 years in prison. He told me one day, he said, man, the U.S. government, when they come for you, they don't care about your money or your position in life, because they make money. They produce it. That's what allows them to move like they move. You see, state officials is different. State police officers, county sheriff deputies, all of that's different. The feds move different. They don't care about your money or influence. But with this law, once they start trying to cover up the misdeeds of politicians like Donald Trump, the feds is going to step in. They're going to step in. All Fannie Willis has to do is go to them. And they're going to step in. And this is going to wind up going all the way up to the Supreme Court. Because they already have laws in place to stop rogue actors. They already have laws in place to stop prosecutors who are doing bad things and misappropriating how they prosecute people.
They're dangerous and they're anti-democratic, Jonathan. This is a power grab by Georgia Republicans who are mad about Democratic jurisdictions, which in Georgia means mainly black jurisdictions, electing prosecutors who don't want to lock up people for low-level drug offenses or who say that they won't prosecute women and medical providers for abortion-related crimes. It's not necessary to have a law to remove bad apple prosecutors. Under present law, Georgia prosecutors who abuse their office can already be removed by state lawmakers, and they can be brought up before the Georgia State Bar to have their license suspended. This law just doesn't make sense. For example, it says prosecutors have to bring charges in every case or explain why not. Jonathan, adultery is a crime in Georgia. Does that mean that prosecutors should investigate and prosecute everybody who's guilty of that crime?
It's getting serious in Georgia. You already have New York officials trying to craft something similar in New York to protect Donald Trump. To be honest with you, when I found out his father, Fred Trump, had got arrested at a Klan rally, and I seen how David Duke, who used to be a powerful man in the Klan organization, when I saw the interaction with these people, I knew that in some kind of way Donald Trump is a real great symbol for them. He's one of them symbols, like Martin Luther King. And I know we don't understand it, but I want you guys to understand it like this. King had his flaws. Malcolm X had his flaws. But these men are revered in black circles. King with the black pastors, Malcolm X with the black American Muslims. These men are revered in and held to high standards and high esteem in those circles. And Donald Trump to white America is like that. I've come to realize that, and because I'm watching it, it's just too much. Any other white man that they really liked, even George Bush, wasn't he wasn't put up like that. He wasn't secured, tried to be sheltered like that. So for some strange reason, this man is a powerful figure inside the organization of skinheads and Proud Boys and you know, all of these groups that holds white supremacy in high esteem. This is a dangerous man. And if he ever get back in that presidency, America is going to go into free fall. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad, people. When we get back off this next break, we're going to talk about the Rutherford County Democratic Party. I'm trying to get a job with them, a part-time job. You know, I got my truck company running, but they have a media post that I really want to work with, because I feel like most politics is local. You start locally. And even though I talk about politics on the grand stage, the big stage, a lot of politics is local when it starts. So I've been in contact with the Rutherford County Democratic Party, and I'm going to see if they have an opening for me, because I think I can be a big help to them and their media outlet. We're going to talk about that when we get back.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Have you voted yet? Hi everyone, my name is Morgan Woodberry and I'm running for State House Rep in District 49. That encompasses Rutherford County's Smyrna Laverne area. Election day is this Tuesday, November 8th, and I am running a pro-you platform. Better education, affordable housing, inclusive healthcare, and more laws that care about you. Let's build a community together. Start by voting for me to represent you. I'm here to fight for you and your rights, and I'm here to represent and acknowledge you and your concerns. And most importantly, take action. If you want to know more about what I've done or what my platform is about, you can visit my website or you can check me out on social media. Make sure you get to the polls this Tuesday and vote.
And we're back with the Daily Read. We're going to talk about the Democratic Party in Rutherford County. I sat back and watched them for a couple of years to see how they were moving and how they have a love-hate relationship with the Republicans in Rutherford County. And I think things are changing. They just elected Morgan Woodberry, and she's a social worker. She says she's going to make some changes. So I think that love-hate relationship with the Republicans might be changing. Now, she says she wants to stay focused on growing and strengthening the Rutherford County Democratic Party. We're going to see. I want to interview her. I'm going to try to get an interview with her here sometime soon, probably within the next maybe month. I want to give her a chance to get in good with, you know, what she has to do downtown at the Democratic Party headquarters. I just want to read to you a little bit about, you know, what she wants to bring to the table. Let's read a little bit about this. She says, she's developing a robust community outreach program that includes voter registration, community education on issues, legislation, and policy. We will build trust with diverse communities by prioritizing constant and authentic relationship building with the community, local organizations, and voters. We're going to see. Sometimes power corrupts people. Sometimes power brings them in contact with other power, and once they feel like they're elite, they start moving different. But we're going to see. I'm going to try to get in good with the media part of the Rutherford County, because they need it. They need it bad. They don't have a presence at all. Now, the Republicans in Rutherford County have a media presence, but the Democrat Party doesn't. This could be why they can't get their message out. But we're going to see. Other elected officials during the election, I think the election was last Saturday, and they're supposed to be having something at the park in Murfreesboro. Which park is this? Let's see. It doesn't say. It was on my other flyer. But the other officers that were elected during their new terms was Celeste Davis, Vice Chair, Laura Bowling, Second Vice Chair, Matthew Fee, Third Vice Chair, Matthew Burke, Secretary, and Jess Chad, Treasurer. Additionally, 20 diverse executive committee members from throughout the Rutherford County were elected to represent their state house districts. So this is going to be good. We have the first black woman, the first minority woman. She's a social worker, so she's used to dealing with people in the community. And we're going to see how this works. I'm going to give her a good a round of applause. And I hope everything works out well for her.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.